Hello friends! By way of intro, please enjoy this brief compilation of the cottagecore aesthetic paradise that is my house. Just kidding. It's normally a huge mess of toys, crumbs and yarn, but we, and when I say we, I mean my husband, always do a tornado-like cleaning session before we have guests over. And guess what? We had guests over. So it is therefore picture perfect until the kids wake up and or return from playdate at grandma's. But enough about that, I am here to invite you along on a sewing adventure. Grasser Patterns, not endorsed, has a free pattern up for download on their site, link below. This really cute cottagecore pilgrim-like collar. I proposed the idea of a sew-along in the costume community, and Joka, of the channel Aspiring Costume Designer, jumped on the bandwagon straight away and actually beat me to it with the upload of her video, so be sure to check it out, along with the rest of her wonderful channel. I chose to embroider the collar with my favorite flowers, poppies. I ended up trading the orange embroidery floss for a shade of red closer to the center collar and the somewhat faded green for a more vibrant one, and I did not regret this choice. What's your favorite flower? Or, more importantly, what's your favorite flower when it comes to embroidery? I'd really like to know, so feel free to leave me a comment. I have been experimenting a bit with the French knots, meaning the size of the French knots. As you can see, these are smaller. These were made with 3 strands of embroidery floss, and these were made with 6 strands of embroidery floss. And I have come to the conclusion that I like the ones with the 3 strands much better than the ones with the 6 strands. I perhaps should have experimented with this before I started doing the actual embroidery on the actual collar. That would have been good. But, oh well, I think I'm just going to unpick these and start over. I guess what we can take away from this is that you shouldn't be afraid to unpick things if you don't like them. Because having something that you absolutely love is worth the effort. It's worth the effort.
and you'll naturally tune out all the doubt and all the haters and all the rest of it and be like, get out of my way, I've got work to do. All your doubts and fears start to get left behind if you just focus on the joy, on what inspires you, on what...
One of the things that makes this collar so gosh darn cottagecore cute, okay, say that 10 times fast, is the trim that is placed all around the edge. I had bought the white trim shown here specifically for this project, but wouldn't you know it, turned out the perfect trim was already in my possession. I asked you guys on Instagram and most of you seemed to agree with me, so I'll save the white pointy trim for another time. Oh yeah, and this happened. Now I'm always happy when I get to try out something new, and in this case it was fusible edge tape. I'd never used that before. I am not altogether sure if I did it the right way because there's a thread that runs through the tape and I'm not entirely sure which way the thread was supposed to go. If it was supposed to go like right at the edge of the fabric or the other way around. Still, I think it will fortify either way. Having said that, I'm not altogether sure if it was necessary in my case because I used a fabric that was slightly sturdier, I think, than what the pattern called for, so I may have gotten away with not using it. I've pinned everything in place, and as you can see, I've also ironed on the fusible bias tape. I don't know what the hell you call it. Whatever it is, I've ironed it on onto the edge of the collar as well. So it's now time to slap this baby under the sewing machine and sew it together. I found that getting the trim right with the sewing machine was really difficult, so I ended up doing what Joka did with her collar. I ripped it loose and then sewed it down again by hand, and this worked much better. Well, friends, I have selected a button from my copious stash, and I was going to film a whole bit where I was going to rummage around in said stash box and proclaim how marvelous it is to be doing a project where one only needs one button, because that almost never happens, and it gives me such great joy to be able to just pick one single button out of this stash, because there are so many single buttons roaming around in here that will probably never get used. So it gives me great joy to be able to use one of those cute little buttons that I have. However, love of buttons clearly runs in the family, because whenever I try to do this, yeah, not gonna happen. Dat is geen snoepje. Now, friends, the pattern called for a button and loop closure, But did I read the pattern? No, I did not. I stupidly made a buttonhole, and therefore the collar, as you can see, did not sit right. Luckily, this was easily fixed by sewing on a sneaky little snap. And with that, it is finally done. I have to say I'm quite pleased with how it turned out. It has instantly become my favorite accessory, and I have plans to make loads more. If you want to join in the cottagecore fun, feel free to tag me on social media. I can't wait to see what you'll make. Until then, thanks for watching and bye bye.